Hey, world travelers. This is day one in Nairobi, Kenya, uh, July 26, 2025. It's a Saturday. We're first visiting the Organic Farmers Open Air Market, and then we're going to go over to the Karen Blixen Museum, which is famous for the location where Out of Africa was conceived and also filmed. Probably the most famous movie about Africa that everybody's aware of with Robert Redford and Meryl Streep, Out of Africa, the location where Karen Blixen lived when she wrote about Out of Africa. So first stop here is the open air market. And notice I love Africa for its colors. It's like eye candy. This open air market is only open on Saturdays. And so since today's Saturday, we decided to go. And you can buy anything and everything here from fruits and vegetables to medicines to art. There's a tree house up there you can see in the distance. We're going to go up in that tree house in a minute. And I sped up the walk through the open air market just so you could kind of get the lay of the land. But really, you can buy just about anything here. And we stopped to buy some avocados. And when you buy an avocado, they ask you what day you want them for, today, tomorrow, or the day after. And they select the right ones. There we are buying avocados. Then we found a place that made sugarcane juice. And we just put the sugarcane through this machine that smashes it, crushes the juice out of it. And ask you if you want anything in it. And said, well, we want some ginger and lime. And so they put ginger and lime on top of a smashed piece of sugar cane, and then they run it through the machine, and it smashes the ginger and lime juice right into the drink. So it was actually very good. We all got one. There you go. See, she's got ginger and lime on the top, and she's smashing it. It just squeezes the juice in. So very good, very refreshing. And then we went up to kind of a restaurant in the middle of the open air market, sat down. We bought some octopus balls. No, that's not an anatomical part of an octopus, but it's a dough that they deep fry with a piece of octopus inside of it, like we had in Asia in many places. Summer had never had an octopus ball before. And so this was a new experience for her, nor had she ever had sugarcane juice. So both were new experiences. But this is a great place to sit down and relax. Such a beautiful day, mid-70s. And a little tip there for the decoration inside the restaurant. Now there is a great treehouse I mentioned earlier. We're going to go up on top of the treehouse and kind of look around so you can see what the total open air market is like. You can buy all sorts of things in this restaurant. There's meat dishes, there's crepes, about anything you want to eat. So it's such a colorful place. This is a tree house. You can go up here and take whatever you purchase to eat or drink and enjoy the day. But here you go. Open air African organic market. Great place to spend a few hours, and some great artwork there. Great wood carvings and whatnot. We may go back later and purchase those maybe on another Saturday later on in our stay. It was good for us to get a feeling for what the pricing was for the artwork. Beautiful paintings, oil paintings, wood carvings. And now we're at the Karen Blixen Museum. As I mentioned before, Karen Blixen was the author of the book Out of Africa. She wrote it under a pseudonym of Isaac anybody, but she was the author. So they filmed the actual movie here, which takes place from about 1911 or 1912, something like that, until 1937. They were. She was from Denmark, Copenhagen. They went to escape World War One by moving to Africa. Her family had the money. She married a German guy who was a really kind of a no good Nick. Uh, he gave her syphilis. She had to go back to Copenhagen, Denmark, to get rid of it. And she came back, started this farm. Well, originally a farm, it was going to be a dairy farm. Her husband, without her knowledge, changed it to a coffee plantation while she wasn't there. And it turned out coffee was not a good thing to grow at 6,000 feet, which is the elevation of Nairobi. This map shows the people who come and visit this Karen Blixen museum, which is one of the most famous ones in Kenya because of its connection with out of Africa. They actually filmed part of the movie at the estate. Originally, the farm was about 6,500 acres, including the area where Fort and Ann live in the Galleria. That was originally part of the 6,500 acres. The Karen Blixen's farm coffee plantation. Anyway, eventually, the best year they had for coffee production, and after they had opened up an actual coffee production factory here, the natives were burning grass, and somehow it accidentally caught the whole coffee production facility on fire. It burned to the ground, and forced the family was no longer willing to spend the money to keep the place going. So she came back to Denmark in 1937. And, the place was sold. She wanted a portion of it to be given to the African natives that were running the plantation. And the government eventually did give some acreage, but it wasn't right here. It was somewhere distant. So this is the back of the farm. We toured inside the house, but you're not allowed to take pictures in there. So we didn't. But actually, the film was partially filmed in this location. They'd had a wedding here yesterday. That big tent was put up for a very fancy wedding. You're going to walk around the back down a trail to where the actual coffee production facility used to be. And some of the old machinery that was in the factory is still here, which we'll show you in a minute. But, Out of Africa is the most famous, probably, of all the movies about Africa. I don't know how many gazillion Academy Awards it won. So maybe a couple hundred yards back behind the mansion is part of where the old coffee factory used to be. This is the roaster, steam roaster, and they used to put the coffee in that big cylinder, and it spun. And there's another machine there on the ground just to the right, where we separated coffee beans from the husks. And then they were dried outside by the native women on big racks in the sun for several days, and then washed again in the river to remove impurities, and then they were dried and roasted in this machine that you see here. Anyway, these survived the fire. Apparently, they're metal, so they didn't burn. So yeah, she gave up the operation in 1937. I think the actual plantation ran from about 1917 to 1937 when she went back to Denmark. Anyway, very interesting place. Probably the most visited museum in Kenya. You'll find it's The kind of coffee they produce here is Arabica. Anyway, stay tuned for the rest of day one.